Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a couple of Snick previews for you guys. I've been in a place where I'm really trying to get through the backlog. I've got a lot of great donations. I've got a lot of knives that I've purchased for review that I haven't quite gotten around to reviewing yet. And, I'm drowning in gear I need to review. That is a wonderful situation to be in. I'm a lucky man. But I recently told myself, Nick, you need to stop buying knives. What did I do? I bought knives. Guys, I have a problem. Because shortly after saying that, a bunch of new stuff popped up. It was like, oh my god, I need this. The Spyderco Shaman, for instance, comes to mind. Then suddenly the steel wheel cut jack, the 3-inch version came to mind. The Millet Torrent shipped, and it just kind of keeps coming. So unfortunately, I have a problem. But the thing is, my loss is your gain. I mean, it's my gain too. Let's be real here. And so today I have a couple of Snick previews for you. But at the very, very first thing, though, I am a very lucky man in that I've got some great friends. And one of those friends knows he is also a fan of high-end horology. And he knows that I've been loving my Omega here. This is my Planet Ocean. This has been on my wrist damn near every day for the last good little while here. It's a very, very nice watch. I love it a great deal. But he figured I might be ready for a change of pace, and so he offered to lend along to me this little guy right here. This is the Moonwatch. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional. This is the original watch. Well, okay, not the one that was on the moon, because that would be multiple millions of dollars, and I think they're government property anyways. But this is the Omega that was used on the moon, so to speak. And that's kind of neat. Probably not as neat as Omega thinks it is, but it is neat. And indeed, it is a very interesting watch, because not only is it an Omega using a hand-wound Omega movement, but it is a chronometer. This is the first mechanical chronometer I have ever had on the channel, and check it out, it's measuring the passage of time. The second hand over here is just telling me what second it is, and this guy, when I press these buttons, starts and stops, so I can actually time things. So that's kind of nice. Oh, I'm barely giving face reveals here. All right, sure, why not? But anyways, very, very interesting watch. One of the feature that this guy has is the tachymeter, which means that if I am timing something, for instance, miles per hour or something, and I want to click this guy, you can see it's got this little bezel, this ring around the outside here. And this means that if I started it when I hit 1 mile marker, and then I'm driving, and then I hit another mile marker right here, that means I'm going 250 miles an hour. It's probably not super likely, at least when you're driving, but maybe if you were in a small plane, for instance, that would be a great feature for you. And so this is a very interesting watch. It's very unusual in a lot of ways relative to a lot of modern timepieces, even relative to Omega's more modern versions of the Speedmaster here. This has a plastic crystal. It's called Esselite, which is good in some ways because it's, well, very resistant to shatter, but it also takes scratches pretty readily. You can polish it out, though. That's nice. This is a hand-wound movement. Well, you can't tell that from the back of it, but you can see they are very, very proud of the mooniness of this watch here. But that means that this doesn't wind itself when you move your wrist, unlike my Planet Ocean, which has this little guy in the back here that winds the watch as I wear the watch, that little weight. This guy you have to hand wind, so every day you need to turn this, and that keeps it running. You get about 40 hours. And so, 48 hours, that is. So, that's a neat little trick, so to speak. Well, not trick. Actually, it's a lack of a trick. In fact, the movement doesn't even hack. I'm not going to demonstrate that, meaning the second hand doesn't stop when you pull it out. So, by modern watch standards, this is in many ways a throwback. And, well, certainly it's kind of meant to be. It's a mode watch. It's throwy-backy by definition. But anyways, this is a very interesting watch. It is an absolute favorite of the internet watch community. Oh my god, are they into the Speedmaster? And so it's going to be very, very nice to see what I think about this very, very iconic watch. That's kind of one of the basic chronographs that I think every watch geek ends up checking out. So that's that, and that's the first element of my Snick preview here. Appreciate everybody who's asking questions on the side here. For the moment, I'm going to focus a little bit more on the Snick previewing, but I may do a little bit of Ask the Nick question answering a little bit later. So that's great. Next thing that I want to show is this little guy right here. This is the Spyderco Sliveraxe. I showed you this guy previously, I believe, in another video, and I've done my review of it already, actually. But the thing is, this is an interesting knife, but in many ways, Spyderco's very first compression lock flipper was not all that interesting as a flipper, because the detent was very weak, and, I don't know, it just didn't work out so well. What it is super compelling is, as is a thumb stud opener knife, well, thumb hole opener knife, or as a flicker, because the detent is perfectly dialed in for middle finger fliction, if you will. And so my buddy Nico, who ordered this knife originally, actually wanted me to send this guy off to get a little bit of a modification. And that modification is the removal of this thumb stud right here. I'm sorry, flipper tab. It's been a long day, guys, so be on the lookout for other beautiful speech errors. So I sent this off to Spade Knife Work, and Knife Works, that is, and he did the thumb stud. Good God, guys. Flipper tab removal, as well as putting a nice edge on it, which is indeed a very nice edge. And the knife is in some ways more compelling than ever. It gains a couple of things. First off, the flipper tab doesn't hit your fingers as you do this. With my smaller fingers, this isn't a problem. But it is absolutely for some people with larger fingers. It carries a little bit more nicely in the pocket, 100%, which I certainly won't argue with. And frankly, I think it even looks a little bit better. You get a little less of a blade guard, but it's got plenty of blade guard as it is. So this may actually be my favorite version of the Sliverax ever, and I'm going to do a re-review of it without that, and I think it's going to be even more impressive. So keep an eye out for the review of the Sliverax originally, and then a review of the Sliverax minus the flipper tab coming up before too long here. But very nice work there, Spady, in getting this loose. Nice satin put on the blade there. Well, blade, flipper tab area, whatever. And very nicely done. Also gain a little bit of ability to choke up if you want to. So this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's kind of weird that in some ways Spyderco's most compelling non-flipper knife in a little while here started off as a flipper. So that's pretty excellent. But then this guy in some ways is the star of the show here tonight. This is a brand freaking new release from Spyderco. This, my friends, is the Shaman, which if you are a fan of 80s electronica, Shaman are, of course, the new generation of the groovin'. That's a reference that, like, one person is going to get, but that one person's going to love it. The Shaman is a brand new design from Spyderco, and it is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and check this little guy out. There's actually nothing too little about it. We'll put this over here. Holy crap. This is not a small knife whatsoever. Right here, next to the PM2, right here next to your Spyderco Delica, this is a bit of a beefy knife. Oh my good God. It's actually a little bit smaller in the handle than the PM2, but then again, Kachinjunga, one of the tallest mountains in the world, is a little smaller in the handle relative to PM2. You can see here, if we flip it over, it's using a clip that's more similar to what they put on the natives generally, rather than the wire clip here. But again, pretty nice. This is also a compression lock knife. So you can see it's got this little leaf up here, which is compression locky. And yeah, very, very interesting. My buddy Dr. Frunky actually just got his today too. He's another YouTuber. You should check him out. I think he's got a first impressions video up as well. But Doc said that his actually got a lot better in terms of action when he took it apart and cleaned it out. And honestly, I'm not super surprised. This right here is not being super overwhelmingly incredible in terms of the action department. So rather than spending more time talking about this guy put together, let's go on ahead and take it apart, shall we? Oh, live knife disassemblies are always fun. So, oh man, it's a special kind of crazy to buy a knife and take it apart in 2 minutes. But hey, why not, right? All right, it looks like this is a, well, it doesn't look like, this is a simple fact. This is a knife made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth, and as a result, sometimes they have been known to use thread lock. Spyderco has sworn it off, but we will see. No, that popped loose, wow, popped loose nicely. There we go. And so that's coming loose, no problem. It's still fighting me a little bit there. Okay, we're popped, great. Yeah, they're using some thread locker, but it's not the evil red stuff. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's evil or not, actually. I can't pass moral judgment on this thread locker. But yeah. Oh, I'm being asked to front flip this guy. Once I put it back together, everybody try and remind me to do that, because I'm thinking it may actually be possible. This has a big old steel backspacer in the back here, which I think is designed to counterbalance this big old honking blade on this guy, because the blade thickness on this guy is pretty immense. If we compare it right here to your Spyderco PM2, same freaking thickness. So this is a heavy little blade. I'm looking forward to seeing, well, yeah, whether it flips. Oh, Frank's saying it doesn't. All right, well, I'm going to have to give it a shot anyways. I'll probably, like, skin my hand in half or something. I don't know that you can skin your hand in half, but by God, I'm going to try. So, bam! All right, wow, that's actually quite skeletonized. It's neat. Okay, so immediately we can see here the compression lock. This is the leaf for the compression lock, and you see it goes into this little area to unlock the knife, and then pops back over to lock the knife. That's a nice little demonstration. Thank you for allowing me that. Oh, they're using blue thread locker, I see in there. That's great. This needs to just pop loose here. Come on. There we go. And we are loose popped. Beautiful. Took the stop pin with it. That's okay. I didn't need the stop pin anyways. You can see here they've put a little bit of a detent ball ramp onto this guy. Come on, focus. There we go. Put a little detent ball ramp onto it. No real complaints there. Let's see here. 7/17/A. Probably means July 2017. It's my bet, at least. And it looks like this is using the same pivot as the Spyderco PM2, where it uses the pivot here to keep these washers captive, and that's fine. I don't mind a captive washer. It seems to work fine in the PM2 anyways, so... You know what? That's not coming loose, but you know what? I don't need it to come loose. No freaking problem. And it looks like the screws go straight into the steel of this guy, which is nice. If you strip something out, you just get a new backspacer rather than the steel itself. And yeah, indeed, I bet this is balancing out that blade, because this backspacer is good and heavy. Smart idea. A couple of people on, I forget where it was, Reddit, were talking about removing it and replacing it with standoffs to reduce weight. It's not going to be a great idea, because anytime you remove weight in one part of the knife, you're going to weird out the balance there. Some knives weird out. That's not a word, is it? Either way, some knives aren't really well designed balance-wise anyways, but this one is quite well balanced. So, yeah. Go ahead and do some cleanup here. A bunch of people are saying that the compression lock is, yeah, it's basically a liner lock with liners on top there. It's a really nice idea, honestly. The compression lock's got a bunch of advantages. I've talked about them a bunch of times before. But one of the biggest advantages you get is that your your fingers never need to go into the blade's path. Which is great, because having your fingers in the blade's path is a sucker's game. That's not a good way to go through life. Because, well, then it's possible to cut your fingers off. Whereas with this guy, that's a little bit harder. So, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the washer here. I mean, everything looks pretty clean. Let's face it, this came out of the mail like 10 freaking minutes ago. Big old day, and now here I am disassembling a Shaman. That sounds really wrong. The knife. I don't have like some person who communicates with animal spirits apart on my table. It'd be really creepy. And I feel like I'd have a bunch of angry animal spirits at the end of it. So that's kind of lose-lose in a lot of ways. The moral of this story, my friends, is that don't disassemble, well, people in general. Unless you are Dr. Frunky, who does disassemble people on a regular basis, being a neurosurgeon. It's kind of his thing. I keep telling him he needs to do a how to disassemble and maintain this guy video. I think that'd be pretty entertaining. So you need crazy jungle hallucinogens for that. Oy, oy, oy. Be a much more entertaining review, that's for sure. So everything is now cleaned out in here. No real issues going on. You can see evidence, you can see evidence of excessive thread locker application. That's fine. My impression is that at the Spyderco Golden Factory, they apply thread locker with a fire hose. That's okay. Mostly joking. Hashtag joking, not joking. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of oil on this side here. This is your 10-weight nano oil. I'm using 10-weight here because I have a dream that this is going to have a beautiful action and slide open and closed. Oh, yeah, I bet it will. Once I get everything in position here. Oh, yeah, and then it just hits the stop pin on both sides. Oh, Sal can make a great knife, that's for damn sure. I actually got to handle this guy, the Shaman that is, at the Blade Show this past year. And so I've handled one of these guys before. At the time, it was just a prototype. It was just a twinkle in Sal and Eric's eye. Well, it's way more than that, actually. But it is nice to handle the final production version and see that, indeed, well, they haven't screwed anything up. And what is here is still pretty compelling. So that's nice. Okay. There we go. Pop that loose. Now we're going to go ahead and seat the liner. What am I forgetting? There are no bearings in this knife for me to leave out. That's good. Everything is lubricated. That's good. I'm going to try and remove a little bit of this remaining thread locker here. It missed when they were going at it with the fire hose. Use a little more booze here. This is 91% rubber. Why am I giving this? I'm going to do a full disassembly and maintenance video anyways. But, you know, hey, why not? And we'll go on ahead. Put the other liner on here. And then pop the rest together. I am going to go ahead and use some more thread locker here. Because why not? I'm going to use the blue thread locker that I like very much. That's good. Meaty is saying that KY being a personal lubricant makes an awful personal knife lubricant. I am not super surprised by that simple fact. Being water-based, it will evaporate relatively quickly. And so, although it may be excellent for those intimate moments with you and somebody special, alas, reassembling a knife is not an intimate moment with you and somebody special. Well, actually, that's not true. Right now, this is a very intimate moment with me and 187 very special people in this chat. So, there you go. Let's see here. I'm getting asked to do a review of the Benchmade 940. I will ask you, in turn, to do a search of the channel, because I have reviewed the Benchmade 941, 940-1, that is. I have a 940-2, foot over there. Nice knife. Benchmade 940 is a standard, but everything I say about the 940-1 makes sense for the 940, except it's slightly less expensive. Very slightly. Alrighty, so let's see how things are dialed in. Oh, that is smoother. Oh, that's way nicer. Okay, but I have blade play. So let me go ahead and tighten that pivot down there. Let's see here. Pop this. Okay. That's too tight. All right, we need a Goldilocks degree of tightness. There we are. Oh, yeah. It's maybe still a little tight. No play. Either dimension. Oh, I need to tighten this side now. And there we go. Still a little blade play, that's fine. There we go, that's better. And I just got to dial this in. I could do this for hours. I probably will. Let's be real here, no play. Yeah, there we go. Nice. There we go. Hey, perfect. All right, front flipping. So, when I try and front flip this, in addition to this just not being high enough above the pivot there, for me to really get a good flip on, that's just going to remove, that's just going to remove my thumb, guys. This tab is just not high enough relative to the pivot to give me the kind of leverage I need to push this guy out of here. There we go. Yeah, I can front flip it, kind of. Come on. And then I lose it. Whatever. But the knife is what it is, and that is a very effective blade hole opener. And in fact, the action's pretty good, actually, especially now that I cleaned it out. Works very nicely. Fits well. Ergonomically speaking, well, you know, Sal Glesser, who is the designer on this guy, hence the maker's mark there, which I just realized is Sal. Oh my God, guys, I am not a brilliant man. Like, how long have I been at this game, and I just now realized that's an S, that's an A, and that's an L. Guys, oh, guys. But anyway, Sal Glesser, the designer of this knife, generally does pretty good work ergonomically speaking. And so it doesn't really surprise me terribly that this knife is also ergonomic. Yeah, just now, Dr. Frankie, yeah, I never have claimed to be a brilliant man. That would be false advertising. But there it is. I saw the S, I just didn't see the A and the L. But, oh, good God, man. It's been a long day. In fact, it's been a long several years. So there you go. There we go. And the thing is, this is probably going to wear in so that it's better over time, but even as it is, this is pretty solid. A couple of other things I'd like to highlight here immediately. There are nice chamfers along the back of the blade here, which is very nice. And in fact, right here, you can see a chamfer on the Spidey hole, as well as a little bit of rounding on this point right here. Very, very nice little bit of chamfering right there. So that makes this whole thing just a little bit easier to work with and a little bit nicer. And this goes alongside the chamfering that we're seeing in the Spidey hole over here, as well as along the spine, even though this is a different factory. So that's very, very good to see. Spyderco is indeed learning. Well, that's really pretentious, but yeah, they're taking customer feedback into account. And so, yeah, there's a lot to love about this guy. I have literally had this in my hand for only a couple of minutes, but there are a couple of things I can very immediately say about it. The action on this guy is smoothing out, especially now that I've put a little bit more on there. That's pretty excellent. Put a little more lube, that is, on there. That's good. That's pretty damn thin behind the edge. Looks a little bit less so at the tip, but here, let's see. Let me grab a piece of paper. All right. Let's see what the sharpness is. That's sharp. Alrighty. It will cut. So that's excellent. The factory edge is very, very good. Nice wide bevels here. No evidence of chipping or anything like that. Nice symmetry. There you go. That's pretty impressive. This is definitely demanding a little bit of, well, can I do this without wrist? Yeah, I can do it without wrist, and it'll wear in over time, which will make it better. Yeah, the sharpness on this guy is absolutely good to go. In terms of build quality, everything looks by and large good. I'm seeing that this backspacer is a little bit recessed down into here, which I'm honestly not super in love with. I don't know whether that's intentional or otherwise, but it seems a little bit like just misalignment. That's not a great idea there. But hey, whatever it is, you get plenty of jimping up here, which is good. And actually, that jimping, oh God, on both sides here, even with a two-finger grip, this is really solid. Spyderco is very good at doing that thing where you as soon as you get it in the hand, it's kind of stuck in there, which is good here. Let's try it in the pocket. This is not a small knife whatsoever. In fact, compared to the PM2 when closed, is this guy bigger than the PM2 when closed? Holy crap, it is. Wow. Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit bigger at the top, too. It does have 4-side carry, so left up. Wow, guys. Left side, tip up. Left side, dip down. Whoa. You can tell. I've been up since 7 a.m. today, and I'm fading freaking fast, as you can tell from my Speedmaster here. Look at that. Well, you can't tell I'm fading. But still. Let's try this little guy in the pocket here. Well, it goes in the pocket. It's a chubby freaking bunny, isn't it? More specifically, it's a little bit thick towards the top here, because you can see the clip on this guy is what they would say is not exactly a deep carry clip. So, yeah, not freaking remotely. But that's okay. So when it's up here, it's definitely a little bit thick in the pocket there. There we go. No pocket shot. I don't think you understand entirely the nature of this current tripod setup. If I put my pocket in view, it would tear my pants open, and I'd probably put more than just my pocket in view, and that would be a problem. Pocket pecker could get a little literal there. And this is all about removing pocket peckers today, so I'm not going to go there. Oh, that's nice. But anyways, this is going to be a very interesting knife for a lot of people. In some ways, this is like what happens if you put a Spyderco Native 5 sort of on some pretty serious steroidal treatments here. Not like hydrocortisone, but like the anabolic stuff. The Barry Bonds style of steroids. Because this really, really is pretty beefy. This is sort of a, oh my God, hard-working sort of native. It's the native's cousin that's been pumping iron for like 12 years. Like this next to the native is like, you know, the gangster versus the huge guy who follows the gangster around and intimidates people by not saying much. That's the role of the shaman here. Not to cast magical spells, although actually I don't really know whether this is casting magical spells on me here. Can I Spidey flick it? I sure can. Yeah, actually, it does flick pretty reasonably. That's nice. Ah, come on. I'm not very good at the middle finger flick with this guy, but yeah, I'm absolutely able to do that here. I do not still have a native 5 on me, unfortunately. I have bought many natives. I have sold many natives. They're great knives each and every time, but they're just not knives that stick around. Let's take a look at the weight here. This is 5.2 ounces. Okay, it's a big one. Compared to the PM2 at 3.8 cell, holy crap, guys. That's just a big, thick blade here, probably coming to mind. Anything else here? It's full liners. Oh, the big old backspace here to balance it out. Yeah, that is absolutely as I said, this is a chubby bunny. This is not the knife you can, oh, but that balance, this is freaking lively. That's kind of nice. I've handled a couple of knives lately that are just weirdly balanced. The Benchmade Crooked River among them. That was a knife that was not super in the hand. It was just really awkward, but this feels pretty good. Feel like this cuts well. I mean, yeah, that's pretty heavy. REW is saying that it's a very heavy knife for a knife with plastic handles. Well, first off, I mean, this is G10, but you know that. But it does have full steel liners. So I feel like I wouldn't impugn this guy for having plastic in any kind of durability sense. But nice moves, Harry Potter, says Knife Tex. Indeed. Oh, my God, if I could open red Loctite with Aloha Mora, my life would be so much freaking easier. Oh, man, that would be great. Just, like, throw the Benchmade on the table. Aloha Mora, bam, disassembled. Very, very easy to do. That'd be nice. And I need a time turner to get more reviews filmed. But anyways, it's beside the point. Thank you very much, Mr. Master Coca-Cola, for writing in what appears to be Arabic. Unfortunately, I do not speak your language, so nice try there. There we go. It's popped loose. I think this is going to wear in very nicely, much like the PM2 here. Oh, yeah, somebody just asked about the Benchmade. I can sneak preview a couple of other things. This is a Benchmade Phaeton. This is an actual automated automatic knife. Automated knife. You give it to a robot, it can, you know, yeah. But anyways, this is an automatic knife. It's a double action out the front automatic, which is pretty interesting. It's actually very well done. So that's kind of nice. And I will be doing a disassembly and maintenance on this little guy. Oh, Knife Tex. I will be doing some disassembly and maintenance on this little guy. He's trolling in the video there. And so that's very interesting. Now that this is now that auto is illegal in Michigan, I've actually got a couple of them around. I got this little guy. This is the ProTech Half-Breed, which is a little tiny automatic knife. It's California legal. So if even the hippies aren't scared of it, then problem solved. That's good. And then I have this little guy right here. This is a very interesting knife. Take a look at it. Yeah. So how do you open it? That's always the question. You hand it to somebody, they're just confused. Here, I'll show you. Magic. Oh, yeah. It opens with magic. I don't know if I've shown this off on YouTube. If I have, indeed, I'm just being a jackass here. Like, yeah, we saw it last time. But anyways, this opens entirely with magic. Case closed. Problem solved. The actual approach is that you pull the bolster up, and that disengages your back lock up here. Whoa there, that got dangerous. Guys, I need to stop before I kill myself here. But anyways, very, very interesting little knife here. Something I'm looking forward very much to reviewing. Shown it on Instagram there. David Copperfield carried that one. Indeed, speaking of magic, this is actually called the ProTech Magic, so Aloha Mora should work on this guy. People are telling me I live on a throne of lies, which is pretty interesting. Appreciate that. So yeah, anyways, that is all of the brand new stuff I have for you today. If the U.S. Postal Service agrees, and who knows, they might agree, I may actually be able to do a sneak preview tomorrow of the Millet Torrent, which is going to be arriving here shortly, which is something I'm very interested in. I am roughly the last person to get mine. That's fine. I'm roughly the last person to order mine, and I told them to give me one of the last ones because I want people who are super excited about it to have a crack at them first. I get a lot of knives. I'm not exactly hurting for pocket knives. But I may do a preview for you on that one. And I've got a bunch of other stuff coming up here. Oh, this one's going to excite some people. Oh, man, is this going to excite some people. One of the most common requests I've ever had on the channel for a review actually turns out to be this little guy right here. That's right. I am taking a leak on camera. Yeah, this is the Kershaw Leek. This is in a composite blade with D2 and I want to say 8CR or something up there on the top there. But this is a very, this is one of Kershaw's earlier composite, well, I'm sorry, one of their earlier speed-safe knives. It's a very interesting piece. I've owned a Leek a couple of times there already, and it needs more screws. Yes, indeed. This is actually a knife that hates me. Not this particular knife, but the Kershaw Leek in general. I've had Leeks around, and they cut me. They try and kill me. In fact, this knife already is conspiring with the Z Hunter in order to find a way to injure me in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's because of the assist, whether it's because of the strong assist, although this one's maybe a little weaker than some I've dealt with. The small ergonomics, every time I have owned a Leek, I have tried to destroy myself with it. Not intentionally, of course. And so keep an eye out for bandages and, just torrents of blood onto the screen, because sooner or later, this guy is going to try and take me out. So keep an eye on that. I've also got another Leek coming here, so I'm just doubling down on death here, which is just great. This is a different pattern of Leek, the reverse Tonto Leek, which is very interesting. Both of these guys are on loan from my buddy Jim, same guy who sent me the Speedy here. And so, yeah, I'm going to be leaking a great deal lately. Hopefully not blood. Double and nothing indeed. So, yeah, very, very interesting knives here. But honestly, the biggest news here is the Shaman, which is the new generation of the groovin'. You can be what you want to be. Let your soul and your body and your mind be free. Because there's nothing in the world that can hold you back. Yeah, okay. No, I'm going to stop singing the song lyrics here. But anyways, this knife is actually pretty cool. And with this kind of durability, this kind of construction, I am pretty sure that this guy can move any mountain. Oh, yeah, that's right. Good God. Diaper jokes are coming up. One thing that a lot of people have asked me about, and that is actually a reasonable concern, is take a look at this. This little area of the blade guard here is actually coming up into the compression lock area. So when you push this down, this guy actually does kind of bounce off of your finger a little bit for me. If I were to move my finger a little bit forward, there's no freaking problem, but otherwise, I can actually feel that bump into my hand. That's absolutely not that's not quite a beautiful thing, and it's a little less prominent, or a little more prominent, I'm sorry, than on your PM2. If we look at their two compression locks here, this guy has a little tiny nubbin. This guy, unfortunately, is, they're doing their best to have a pocket pecker on a compression lock non-flipper. But hey, whatever it is, it's interesting. And this is a nice, beefy, ergonomic piece. I can already tell you, you know what, it's not for me. Oh, man, that gave me a little love tap there. I can already tell you it's not for me. This isn't a Shabazz knife. It's huge, it's overbuilt, it's heavy, it's all kinds of things that I'm generally not after. But I think for a very large variety of people, this is probably going to be a great piece for you. So, anyways, there you go. And actually, it's not that much pricier than the PM2. And considering it's bigger and beefier and steelier, meaning it's got more steel. Oh, look, stonewash blade versus some kind of a, looks like a belt finish sort of blade. It is indeed a Dr. Frunky knife. So there we go. So anyways, hope this has been interesting to you, that you enjoyed this sneak preview of this guy, and this little guy right here. That you have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of the day, and if you haven't, listen to the Shaman Move Any Mountain. Really catchy freaking song. And S30V is the blade steel, which is absolutely 100% good to go. Have yourselves a good one, everybody. Bye now.